Hello and welcome to Asa Smiles. I am Asa, your host. Y'all, today is June 15th, 2024. It is 3:24 p.m. in the great state of New York, and we are located in New York City. It is absolutely gorgeous outside, 81 degrees, mostly sunny. This is the day the Lord has made, right? Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Folks, let me tell you, have I got a doozy for you today, and more of a reason why social media influencers need to be held responsible for victimizing victims of crime and their families, and why there is a need for Eric's Law. Now, let me just say first and foremost what this is about. This is about some pretty underhanded, ugly stuff that's been going on in Eric's case. But more than that, it's not just Eric's case. It happens in a lot of cases. And sadly, Eric's case is the worst that we've ever have come across or endured, if you will. And we're just stacking it all up. We're just stacking it all up. So, hold on just... Okay, I still have a lingering cough, y'all, from that horrible illness I had. So anyway, I think you guys don't want to hear that, so I always pause it when I got a cough like that. So anyway, you guys, this is a perfect example why there needs to be new legislation and why we're working on the new legislation that we are, and why we've already received sponsorship for it, and why we're moving forward with it. You guys, you cannot make this stuff up. Imagine if you were Eric's father or Eric's mother, and you were having to go through this nonsense while searching for your missing child. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I encourage all of you to get involved with the change.org petition for Eric's Law, and help us get it to where it needs to be gotten in front of Congress. Okay, so let's talk about what happened. All right, so someone reached out to us. I'm not going to say their name because it doesn't need to be said, and I'm not going to go into details about what they shared with us because that is all information that is sensitive, so we don't need to go into any details about that. What I want to talk about is what happened on the back end of all of this. So someone reached out to us and shared some information with us that we felt was viable. And so we were conversating with this person, and we were taking steps to help this person get the law out there, and so on and so forth. And understandably there's concerns. You worry about safety, you worry about other things, and I don't even know for sure if this has anything to do with our case or not. That's for law enforcement to decide, and so that's what we do is we work with law enforcement. We contact them, we let them know who we are, what we're working on, and tips that come in, and can they check this out, check that out, etc., and then they do. And they responded right away. So we were happy about that for safety reasons and for a lot of other reasons. So anyway, so after checking in with them, after many phone calls back and forth, we reached out to them and returned their call, and we were told that the case information had been turned over to another department, etc. And so I just checked back in, out of, just due diligence, being kind, whatever, and let this person who contacted us know that this had been handed over to another department, and soon as we knew more, we would let them know or whatever. Of course, barring any sensitive information, etc., we would never do that or put anybody in jeopardy. So anyway, last night this person responded back, and the tone of the conversation had completely changed. It had gone from working together to get this figured out to all of a sudden being called. Let me tell you what I want to say it verbatim, because I want you guys to know how bad this really is. It's not bad for us, because at this point we already knew. We could tell, what was going on. We already knew what was happening. It's so obvious. So, anyways, I want to get so that I could, I'm going through the messages that I could read you exactly what was being said. So, the first thing they said is, "I need to see your credentials, please, ma'am." Okay. You've already been talking to us for several days. All of a sudden, you want to see our credentials. What credentials do you want? It's exactly what I said. What credentials do you need? I already told you who I was. I sent him a link to our website, which has our business license, etc. I said, that's me. You reached out to me. Remember, I didn't reach out to you. You reached out to me on Eric's page, and I'm the one who got the detectives out. I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone here? Or what's really going on? So then I was just like, well, I'll read it to you. I was only letting you know what they told me today. That's all. I'm good. Take care. Thanks for letting us know. Stay safe. Right? That's what you do. So, then this person said, I don't want to go into too much detail, so I just want to go to, we have been notified by law enforcement here in East Texas that this is a scam, and y'all are not even allowed in several of the communities in this area. That they never called you and told you all blah blah blah, because they do not do that. As soon as we got this message, we knew exactly what was going on. In our previous conversations, this person had conveyed to me that they had been reaching out to several different Facebook pages regarding missing persons. And I was the first person who responded. And so then other people responded. So we know, or trust me, there's internet records, IP addresses, phone records, etc., that's going to show us who else was talking to this person about this case. So, and I got a sneaking suspicion, and I am sure it'll be confirmed. Anyways, so I said, really? I don't know who told you we were a scam. Who told you that? So, who told you that? Give me names. Give me names. Right? Just all they said was several investigators here in Texas. Okay. So first it was law enforcement. Then that changed to investigators. So I sent them a screenshot of my phone records showing me talking to the sheriffs. What time I talked to them. Also, me talking to Mr. Alvarado, Eric's father, right after I talked with law enforcement. Then I sent him a screenshot of the day prior where I talked to Sheriff's Department several times. I had spoke with them several times. And I spoke with Mr. Alvarado several times. A whole page of phone calls going in and out between me and those three entities. So I said to him, me yesterday talking with them several times, I said, so look, whatever. You were reaching out to us saying you were scared. We said we would help. And we would get someone out there, and we did. Now you want to tell us we're scammers. I bet Eric's father would disagree. Scammers who call the police? Really? Scammers call the cops? I don't know if scammers who call the police. I told them it's okay. Do your thing. And in the meantime, the doorbell is going off on our website of all these different Texas addresses coming up that they're on our website. So I told them, there is no scam. I'm not sure why you're making this stuff up. So it goes on and on and on and on. But the fact of the matter is, it is like really, really crazy. At one point they said, no need for you to get belligerent or ugly, but we are taking this pretty serious. We care about finding missing people's loved ones, and we care about safety and that of those we love. If you are who you say you are, then you wouldn't mind simply answering the questions that I ask. What questions? What questions? So I responded back because by this time my patience is wearing thin. It's all good. I'm not being belligerent at all. You're accusing us of being scammers simply because I messaged you what they told me, trying to be nice. You're getting out there now. We are good. No need to make up lies. Everything we do is documented and recorded. Stay safe. Everything we do is documented and recorded. I don't know how many times I have to say that. And then I said, solid advice. Don't ask folks for help and then be ugly. Whoever you are getting your info from is lying to you. Something for you to consider. As for us, we are good. Take care of yourself. You did a good thing. So then the person goes on a rant. Me asking for credentials is in no way being ugly. I'm sorry you took it that way, but when we are being told things and are already on edge, then you would understand. So see, they're already on edge, they're already worried, they already have some fear, and they have someone in their ear telling them lies. Telling them lies. So then they pointed out, you're all the way on the East Coast and we're down here in the middle of it. And so I responded with, understood. I understand. Because I already knew what was going on at this point. I already knew that the same people who have been interfering in Eric's case were doing it again. But I didn't tell them that. Why? Because there's no need to. We already accomplished what we needed to get done, which was get law enforcement there and get it underway. That's what we set out to do, and that's what we got done, right? So there was no need for me to go into this long discussion about who they're talking to, etc. Don't care. The only thing about that we care about is that it's still an ongoing issue in Eric's case, and it's becoming hindering the investigation. And we're going to show that, because we're going to be using this example as a reason why there needs to be Eric's Law. So I said, understood. You told me that we didn't speak to police and that detectives told you we were scammers. Who said that? Obviously, I've been talking to them. It's okay though. It's not a big deal. You don't need to talk to us about anything. We got them out there. It will get handled. Thanks for letting us know. Oh my goodness. I'm like, this is crazy. It goes on and on and on. Until finally I said, I can read. I know what you said. Let it go. It's all good. The law went out there. My phone says I was speaking to them a lot. You're being kind of weird. Not sure what you're trying to do. Have a good one. Well, of course I already knew what was going on. But I wasn't going to get into that with them because, listen, they are victims too. They reached out trying to do something good. And then weirdos from YouTube and Facebook calling themselves law enforcement, investigators, journalists, etc., 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 got involved, and here we are. Here we are. Again. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for the people involved who were doing a good thing. And it's dangerous for the outcome of Eric's case. Now, if they think for a second that we're not going to pursue this, and I'm speaking about the people out there putting lies out and telling people this ugly stuff in an effort to try to keep information to themselves so they have a story for YouTube, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the reason why there needs to be Eric's Law. So, Eric has been missing 6 years. Let me say this. There's a reason why. There's a reason why there hasn't been any movement in this case. This man just disappears in the middle of the night. Nobody knows where he's at. His wife moves on, has a boyfriend in 2 months. Nobody's questioning that. Nobody's questioning any of the other people who were there. He just goes missing. And there's no movement in his case for almost 6 years. Why? I'll tell you why. This is exactly why Eric's father reached out to us. Because the people down there are running their own narrative for YouTube clicks and Facebook clicks for monetization. We have an organization. We run an organization that helps families. Everybody here is volunteers. Nobody gets paid. Everybody volunteers their time to help. It is a passion of mine, and we're good at it. We've been able to get some people home safe, and we've been able to get a resolution in other cases where the family member didn't make it home, but at least the family knew what happened. So, we've done well. And when Eric's father reached out to us, and we took on this case a year ago, ever since then, there's been a lot of movement in Eric's case that there wasn't prior. And people are starting to get nervous. Really nervous. Like the person who called the police department about another case that we're working and told them that we leaked information, trying to get us in trouble. But obviously they know that we're not leaking information. We work with them. We work, we give them information. People reach out to us, give us information, we give it to them. And besides all that, that particular case happened to be a friend of mine from many, many years ago. So, we weren't close best buddies or anything, but we knew each other. He was my friend, and I really liked him, and I hated what happened to him and his family, and so we took on that case, and we've been on it ever since. We made great strides on that case. I would never jeopardize his case, ever. I would never jeopardize that case. And his family knows it. So, she reached out to me and told me who it was. Surprise! Somebody named Samantha. Whoa. Really? Someone named Samantha. Interesting, right? Of course, it's a police department. They, everything gets recorded. It comes into a police department. Phone numbers, all that stuff. IP addresses, everything is documented when it goes into the police department. So, hello. Where do these people come from? Under a rock somewhere? They don't get it? Or what? They don't get that everything's documented and recorded these days? You can't get away with nothing anymore. Because everything's documented and recorded. Everything. Including everything that comes into our office. So, again, this is why we need support for Eric's Law. Because it is our opinion and our belief that this case has dragged on as long as it has because people in this case have been running their own narrative, putting out false information, and they have found the perfect people to do it for them. The ones who want to make money on YouTube or Facebook, want to get monetized, and sensationalizing and bringing up a bunch of nonsense that has nothing to do with Eric's case. We know that because we're the ones putting in the real work. We're the ones working on link analysis. We're the ones working the case. Not YouTubers or Facebookers, etc., etc. So it has to be said that I really appreciate the fact that those people reached out to us on Eric's page on Facebook. They did a good thing. And look, it's not easy to do something like that because it is scary. It is scary. But the fact of the matter is that they did a good thing, and now they are being victimized by these people who are saying that they are law enforcement or investigators and or / journalists, which are not good people. They're bad people. They're doing everything that they can to throw off the investigation on Eric's case. And we are just compiling all the information. And trust me when I tell you, it will be handled. It will be handled. We are meeting with a congresswoman and a senator about Eric's Law. We'll be discussing all that with them. And we are going to ask them to investigate what has been going on in Eric's case in addition. So all the interfering, all the hindering, all the ugly rumors, again, as I have said a gazillion times before in our other podcasts, and if you haven't listened to those about the crazy stalker YouTuber, etc., you need to go listen to them. Because they've done some really horrific things. And to the point where it has really started affecting Eric's father. You know, he wants them to leave the case alone. We don't care who looks into a case. We have always said 1,000 times or more. It's always better to have more eyeballs looking into something. But when you know that people are putting out false information or spreading false lies and allegations that they have absolutely zero proof of, and I mean zero, it gets old after a while. We already have enough work to do without having to deal with nonsense like this. So once you realize that, you know, like with these folks, you know, who kindly did what they did, you know, I have to tell them, it's okay. It's all good. Understood. Don't worry. You don't need to tell me anything further. You don't have to be worried about who we are, what we do, because we already did what we said we were going to do. I sent you proof of us talking to the sheriff's department. I sent you proof of our website, our business license. I sent you all of that. So that's it. You were being taken advantage of and being played like a lot of people in this case have been. So that's why Eric's father put a stop to it and reached out to JC Cares. Somebody outside of that area in Texas who's not going to get sucked in to the nonsense that these supposed law enforcement, investigators, journalists, YouTuber, Facebooker dummies are putting out there. That's why there's been no movement in Eric's case. There is so much about Eric's case that we can't even make public because of the connection in the case, because it is sensitive material, because we don't want to hinder the investigation, because all we want to do is assist law enforcement in finding Eric and prosecuting those responsible for Eric's disappearance. Period. That's what we do. That is what we do. So, in closing, I would like to say that nice try again, suckers. You're just giving us the perfect example and reason why we need new legislation. Because look, you can make accusations and claims on Facebook or YouTube without any proof, and on any social media platform. And you can be sued for defamation, libel. They all fall under the same umbrella, right? Okay? So you can sue. But what if the person that you could sue doesn't have anything? Like the folks involved in this. It's not like you can get, $1 million from them for slandering your business or your name or your child's name that's missing or your name as a parent of your missing son. You can't sue what isn't there, right? So now we want to make it a criminal offense when you slander a family or a victim, the victim's family, on social media or anywhere like that. Then you should be responsible for fact-checking everything that you state. And it better be correct, because if it's not, it should be a crime. And that's what we're asking, is for it to be a crime. So far, what these people that came forward with information, what they don't know is that those people that they were talking to were putting out information about Eric's father, saying, that he encouraged his kids to be drug dealers, which is a total fabrication, that he didn't care about his child, that he hasn't done any work trying to find Eric, and that's a lie. I can tell you it's a lie, because I have all of it. Our organization has all of that information. It was said that he didn't care, his brother didn't care. There was a lot of things that were said about the family simply because what? Because he's looking for his son and he wants those responsible for his disappearance to be held accountable? And why would these so-called influencers care? Well, let me tell you why they care. Because originally they were in on the information that was coming from the case because Melissa was working with them on building their stuff because Melissa was part of it. But when Melissa came on JC Cares USA, it was told to her that, for her to be a volunteer with JC Cares USA, that she couldn't be sharing case information and stuff like that with social media influencers. It's dangerous, it's inappropriate, and it's unprofessional, and it doesn't help anything. And she agreed. And she was vetted thoroughly for months. She was even fed stuff, because, we do this with everybody. We'll feed you information that isn't true, and if it comes out, then we know you're talking. That's just one way we vet. That's just one of many. And it takes a long time. It takes months for us to vet people who volunteer for JC Cares USA. So anyway, Melissa was working with them. So she knows what they're all about. She knows exactly what they're all about. And she's a hoarder. She saves everything. And so I have a slew of screenshots and so on and so forth that she has shared. Some pretty ugly things have been done. So, listen, y'all have to be really careful about who you talk to about missing person cases. Make sure that it's a reputable organization like JC Cares USA or another one like the Charlie Project or, different organizations like that who really have your best interest at heart. Here at JC Cares USA, we do this because we care, because this is our way of giving back to our communities. And we don't get paid. Everybody's a volunteer. There's no grants. We don't get any federal grants. I'm not a grant writer. I don't, so I don't apply for any grants. We're not, doing a bunch of weird stuff, trying to make money, or we've never had a family give us any money. We've never claimed any rewards from any of our cases. And every case has a reward. Every case. And some organizations do claim the rewards. And I'm not against that. Because they do it for operation reasons. They use the reward money to help pay private investigators. They use reward money to keep their operation functioning, because you got to understand, this isn't cheap. This isn't cheap. You got to pay the bills. But we pay our bills ourselves. We're fortunate enough that we're in a place where we've been able to do that. And we haven't had to ask for anybody's reward money or anything like that. And so that's something that people need to think about and consider when you're choosing an organization. And as I said, there's good organizations out there that do claim reward money for operational purposes, and that's great. Just make sure that you vet whoever it is that you're working with, and make sure that they're, in it for your best regard with your case of your loved one, So most of them are. You're going to find very few that are a legitimate business that are scammers, honestly. I mean, they're really If they're legit and they're a business, they have a tax ID, so on and so forth, their nonprofit status, etc., then they're good people. They're good people trying to do good. So always, always, always look at that. We've been fortunate enough that we have been able to work with people who volunteer their time. And so we've not had to pay anybody because they volunteer. And that's worked out pretty good for us, you know. But you really, really got to be careful, y'all. When you are stressed out, worried, concerned, scared to death about your missing loved one, the last thing you need is bad social media influencers. Not all social media influencers are bad. I say that all the time. The majority are not. But just like with everything, there's always one bad apple, right? So there are several bad apples here in Eric's case. And unfortunately, what is really sad is Eric's case is not the only one they have interfered in. That's sad. That's really sad. So, folks, I hope that by sharing all this stuff that it educates people about what is bad when you are doing everything that you can to find your missing loved one. Stay the course. Vet every person you work with thoroughly. Vet them. We are not, I personally am not law enforcement. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Not law enforcement. I am retired from civil service, yes. Do we have people working for us that are former law enforcement? Yes. People who are retired, who volunteer their time. Private investigators who volunteer their time. Oh, yeah. So, you know, when social media influencers start saying, show us your credentials. Okay, what credentials do you want? It doesn't matter what we say or how we say it. There's people that comment on these podcasts who talk about their family members of people we're looking for. Talk about what a good job. Some of our volunteers comment on our podcast. You know, it's nothing but a bunch of nonsense, y'all. That's all it is. But these people are dangerous, and that's why we need Eric's Law. So we can protect people who are victims of bad social media influencers, of people who interfere in cases. You know, we have a contract with the family. They know exactly what we're going to do before we do it. And they know exactly what is expected as a family before we even take the case. These people were working with Melissa, and when Eric's father said, we're going to do something new, we're going to do something different because nothing has happened in 5 years in my son's case. These people exploded, and I do mean exploded. And they freaked out. Oh, and it must be said, the first thing that law enforcement always does is check. They always check. And when we made that phone call, told them who we were, first thing they did was check. How do I know? Because we have a doorbell on our website that rings every time somebody goes on our website. That way, if a family reaches out, we can respond right away. And they responded. They went on our website right away to see who we were. If we were a scam, they would know. Oh, God. You would think as many times as these people have been outed for the nonsense that they are doing, that they would, slink back and skulk away like the dummies that they are, but they don't. They don't even have enough common sense for that. Since this started, those people accused us of lying about who we were, what our names were, where we were located. I mean, the list just drags on. That's why we had to get attorneys involved. And they're just monitoring it all. They're just stacking it all up. I'm like, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So anyways, all right, y'all. We will keep you posted if anything else happens with regards to Eric's Law. We're working hard on it, and it's coming along, and we're happy about it. We're thrilled about it. I want to make sure it's understood that Eric's Law has nothing to do with my organization. I'm a big girl. I can handle myself. And I could care less what those dummies say about me or my organization, because my organization speaks for itself. People who work with us know who we are. I don't have to prove anything to anybody except the people we work for. And they know who we are, and they know the work we've put in. So I'm not worried about that. However, I am worried about families who are already victims being victimized by silliness, and people who have no common sense, no morals, putting out ugly, nasty stuff on the internet about families who are already suffering and hurting. It's not right. And being a human rights advocate like we are here at JC Cares, it's not okay with us. Eric's Law is about Eric. And what Eric's been through and what his family's been through. Straight up. That's it. It's about Eric. This case would have been solved and done, in my opinion, years ago, if not for all the interference that's played a part in this by bad social media influencers. No doubt. So, having said that, I am watching the squirrels play in our topiary trees outside the window, and they're so cute. Their names are Mary and Joseph. So anyways, y'all, we are going to close this out for today. And I hope that there is light, love, and joy in everyone's life. I pray for everyone to have love and kindness surrounding them. And as always, remember to smile, because it's contagious. Right? Just try it. I promise you. I was doing it all day yesterday. We were walking around New York City. We were there for an event, a music event that my son was participating in. And we were walking around a lot, and I was smiling at a lot of different people, and they were smiling back at me. And it just makes you feel good. And it makes you feel good, too, to know that you made somebody else feel good. So give it a try. You'll enjoy it, I promise. We love you so much. We thank you for our listeners, to our volunteers, and everybody else who support us. Thank you so much. So long for now. Bye.